happy Sunday. Some of you may have seen the post that I've done recently about my late spring cleanse. So basically, I didn't do my spring cleanse. Normally, I would do a cleanse every 3 months, and I usually time my cleanses so that they're after really busy or seasonal periods. So I would definitely do one in January, and then I normally do my next one around April because my birthday's early April, so I just do it straight after that. So lately I've had a lot of fatigue and been very busy with work and really not prioritising myself as much as I like to be in balance. And with that sluggishness, it really reminded me the importance of me getting on with my cleanse. I think what I wanted to do was wait until I could have a really long break and go overseas and do it. But actually, my body's in that energetic place of just really needing me to, work on it straight away. So that's where I am. And, I reflected on the fact that, it's May now, middle of May, and I would normally have done this in April. So it's about right. So in doing that, I thought, gosh, so many of you are also thinking about, what can you do to get that energy back? And, as we come out of spring and into summer, you want to feel lighter and you want to feel energy and you don't want to have fatigue. So there's a couple of things that I want to go through in terms of thinking about what the various cleanses are available to you, what you might want to consider. But first thing is just consider that when a lot of people think about doing a cleanse, they have this thought of negativity before they've even started. You don't want to start a cleanse thinking, oh God, I've got to do this, or oh, I've got to do a detox. That's not really where you want your energy to be or your mindset to be. So the first thing is that you actually want to have a desire. Like for me, the thinking about doing a cleanse now makes me feel excited. Like I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to feel lighter, I'm going to detox, I'm going to get my mind and my body in the right space. So yeah, and then I think about all the things that I'm going to be able to do after that. So I'm already seeing my projects that are coming up and thinking about the energy that I'm going to have to be able to do that. So let's go into what type of cleanses are and what type of cleanses are available and which one might be more suitable for you. And if you have any questions or anything you want to comment on as I go through, then just go ahead. So the first one is, for those of you that feel that you still have a lot of processed food in your diet, then for you doing something very drastic is not the right next step. So I would consider doing something like removing all the processed food in your diet. So let's talk typically what they are. They could be bread, pasta, noodles, anything that's really not grown, used to be alive or make a noise, as I say in the case of meat or fish. That's what you need to be eating. So the first step would be maybe looking at 3 weeks of eating only real food and nothing processed. So that would be a really good cleanse to do for somebody that still has a lot of processed foods in their diet, or even when I say processed foods, feels a bit confused about what I mean by that. The next step would be somebody that has already removed majority of the processed foods in their diet, probably eats a lot of vegetables, fruit and vegetables on a daily basis, but removing the foods that cause the most intolerances. So the foods that can create a lot of intolerances that you would want to remove from your diet if you were considering this type of cleanse would be dairy. Over 70% of the population are lactose intolerant. Gluten, a lot of people still don't realize that some of the symptoms they're having of bloating could be sensitivity to gluten found in some common grains. And lastly, removing addictive foods such as refined sugars and swapping those. Hi, Red Hair and Seek. Eating real food and not food stuff. Absolutely. So yeah, removing addictive foods from your diet. So making that switch to using natural sweeteners into your diet. So that could be things like raw honey. It could be things like coconut sugar as opposed to using white refined sugars, or even a lot of the brown sugars that are highly refined. So if you're eating a lot of fruit and vegetables every day, not a lot of processed foods, maybe your next step is now to remove the foods that create a lot of intolerances for people. So I'm just watching as people are joining and seeing if there are any questions. So The next stage is if you've already removed most of the foods that you're intolerant to, and maybe like me, you're only having those foods as special treats, or when you have them, in really high quality forms, then the next step for you might be to think about making sure that at least 80–90% of your diet is plant-based, and you might now be ready to do a juice cleanse. Now, a juice cleanse is quite severe, and what a lot of people don't realize is there are 2 stages to the detox process. The first stage, which is where the body goes and collects all of the rubbish and all of the toxins, and the second stage, the phase 2, which is where it removes that. And a lot of people that go straight into these juice cleanses that don't have a lot of information have not necessarily done the first 2 cleanses that I've talked about, and are not necessarily always eating real food already. So if you are doing that, then you need to really make sure that a juice cleanse, and the person that provides the information and the juices to you can give you full support to make sure that you go through both of the stages of collecting the toxins and removing the toxins from the body. So, in Singapore, I highly recommend the EGA clinic, the juice clinic. They have 2 clinics now, one at 𝐓𝐫𝐿𝐻 and one in the Forum Shopping Centre. And for me, they are fantastic at supporting clients in doing their juice cleanses. Now, if juice cleanse is something that you've regularly done, maybe it's something that, like me, you incorporate into your cleanse every 3 months, then maybe you're ready to do a serious fast. Now, fasting is in all ancient cultures, and the great thing about fasting is up to 70% of our body's energy is used to digest food. So when you stop that process of thinking, I have to eat, and you allow the body to rest, the body can do such a magnificent job of going in and doing lots of repair that it's needed. And sometimes that repair is actually something that I experience quite a lot, which is, emotional repair, and really going in and seeing what does the body need right now, because the energy is free to do that. So some fastings can be from like intermittent fastings, where you fast for short periods of time from, like, for example, 6 to 12 hours. But you can have longer fasts where, you eliminate all foods and you just drink purely liquids, and that can be, a week fast. You may try that for a couple of days. But this is obviously for somebody that I would say is quite advanced in terms of their nutrition and the food that they're eating. But quite commonly, those people that, do eat very well on a day-to-day basis, do eliminate all the foods that they're intolerant to, do forget about doing a fast, a serious fast, and a well-supported and managed fast as something that could really help them to, take their energy to that next stage. So there are like 4 really different ways of approaching a cleanse, and the most important thing is that you choose one that's well-supported, well-researched, that if there is somebody that's supporting you through that process, whether it be a juice clinic or a health coach, that they provide all the relevant information that is customized to you and what your body needs and your lifestyle is at that time. So, this is really important to make sure that you get everything that you need. So for me, the stage that I'm at is I do eat regularly, plant-based, so 90% of my diet is plant-based. I do juice cleanses, every 3 months as part of a longer process of cleansing. And I also do intermittent fasting on a weekly basis. So for me, the next stage is always about thinking about how can I detox for various different things. So I detox from technology, from food, and then I think about emotionally, what do I need to let go of? So it's time for my late spring cleanse or my early summer cleanse, and I will be doing a combination of all of those. So, you'll be able to see a lot of that information that I share and some things that I'll be doing over the next 30 days as I take a longer and more in-depth cleanse. So, as you know, the best place to catch me for more information is over on my website. So if you go to 𝐓𝐫𝐿𝐻.com, at the top you'll be able to sign up for my newsletter, and that's where I can share other information that can help you on your health journey. Have a great weekend. Any other comments, just post below. Take care. Bye.